Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist. It's the 1st of November, so happy Tuesday, happy November. It's almost turkey season, which you guys may or may not know means I'm going to play some deck that revolves around a big bird towards the end of the month, so that'll be pretty fun. Real quick, though, with recent releases and me actually being able to find all of my common charity cards once more, I figured we need to dip our toes back into common charity. No, this is not going to be a god deck. However, I do think it's really fun. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to kind of mix a little bit of the branded, the Fallen of Albaz, with the Lair of Darkness, call it the Lair of Albaz, and build you guys a common charity version of this. Because again, common charity, I don't know, it just seems like it's a more fun format to me than always playing the same old. However, like usual, we will be using the regular advanced ban list as far as deck building goes. So let's get into the deck without any further ado. First character up, we're going to need to be running 3 copies Arima, the Wicked Warden. Arima allows us to discard him to get our Lair of Darkness from deck to hand, or as a monster card, we may tribute a dark monster to draw a card, and if it was a monster that was not Arima, this specific copy of Arima, then we may add a dark monster with 2,000 or more defense from the deck to the hand instead. Each of these effects is going to be a once per turn. Actually, sorry, just the second effect is once per turn. And one of the cards that we're going to be able to use this for is going to be to gather Albion. Again, I'm only going to be running the 1 copy Albion, the Shrouded Dragon. While on the field or in the graveyard, this counts as being Fallen of Albaz. And if this card is in my hand or graveyard, I can send 1 Fallen of Albaz or branded spell trap card from hand or deck to the graveyard to apply one of the following effects based on where the card was sent from. If I send the card from my hand, then I may special summon Albion. If I sent the card from my deck, I may place this card at the bottom of my deck. Then if I place this card from my hand, so if this card went from my hand to the deck, then you get to draw a card. So again, it's got a couple of little reasons why you might use it. But again, 2,000 defense, we can search this with the Arima. So very fun interaction there. Still going to be rocking 3 copies of Duke's Shade, the Sinister Shadow Lord. Again, we're allowed to tribute any number of dark monsters to special summon this from the hand. If we do, gets 500 attack per card tributed. And again, with the Lair of Darkness, all cards are dark. We're just going to pop one of our opponent's monsters, board it over to our side. It's like a kaiju, but we keep it. And that's what's brilliant. Additionally, when this card is normal or special summon, you may target a level 5 or higher dark monster in the graveyard. Add that card to your hand. So again, we can cycle our Albion this way. And we are using a kaiju in this deck. So again, we could cycle that as well. You use each of these effects once per turn. You may not special summon the turn that you activate either of these effects, except for dark monsters. And again, pretty easy, except once we get to, I believe the extra deck has a few non-darks. Giving me a second. There's like 3 cards that don't fit the theme. So again, most of the time, you're going to be on point. It's not an Albaz deck unless you run 3 copies Fallen of Albaz. When normal or special summoned, except during damage step, we may discard a card to fusion summon a fusion monster out of our extra deck using monsters from either side of the field as material, including this card. We cannot use other monsters we control as material. Can only use this effect once per turn. So again, summon, and he is the Super Poly. So again, he's going to be useful. Unfortunately, Mirror Jade and I forget what it is, Luberian, something like that. There are 2 dragons that are going to be hard locked out of here because, 3 technically, because they were not commons. But it still gives you a pretty good setup and still allows us to style on the opponent. We are going to use 2 Radion as our kaiju. Again, just fits our dark theme. We can search this out with the Arima. So we have Albion, Duke Shade, and Radiant, all as Arima targets. So that's good, depending on which play you're trying to make. And again, I'll show you when we get to the extra deck why that's important. 3 copies Summoner Monk. because again, we can summon the Fallen of Albaz this way to go ahead and snap up the opponent's monster card while building up a field. It also helps us with Link and Xyz plays, which is very good. That is going to be the monsters. Give us a second, take your photo, take the pause button, maybe write down some notes real quick, and then we will be right back with the spells. Leading off our spells is the draw card, Lair of Darkness. We are going to run a full flight of 3. Again, draw 2 cards, banish a dark from your hand. If you can't, lose the entire hand. We are going to use 2 copies of the Branded Bond. Special summon 1 Fallen of Albaz that is banished in the hand or in the graveyard. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there to activate the effect of a Fallen of Albaz, then you can set this card, each effect once per turn. So again, it works really good with the Albion as well. We're going to use 2 copies, continuous spell Branded Lost. Activation of your cards and effects that include the effect that fusion summons a fusion monster cannot be negated. Also, the opponent cannot activate cards or effects when a monster is fusion summoned this way. If you fusion summon a fusion monster, you can add 1 Fallen of Albaz or 1 monster that mentions it from the deck to your hand. Each of these effects is once per turn. And again, this is really going to help us solidify and build position. 1 copy Called by the Grave, because we can do that. 3 copies Lair of Darkness. And again, this was in the Egyptian God deck with, I want to say it was Slifer. Don't quote me, but I want to say it was Slifer. This makes it so all monsters on the field become dark. Once per turn, if I would tribute a monster I control for a card effect, I may tribute a dark monster the opponent controls even though I don't control it. Again, this works. And then once per turn during the end phase, special summon torment tokens to the turn player's side in defense mode up to the number of monsters that were tributed during that turn. So again, if it's on my turn, I get the tokens. If I do some of this stuff on the opponent's turn, they get the tokens. We are going to run a single Monster Reborn, 3 copies of Super Polymerization, 1 Terraforming, because again, the Lair of Darkness is kind of important, and I really do like saving Arma to either draw cards or tutor, and 2 copies of Twin Twisters. And again, it's been a minute since I used these. Discard a card, target up to 2 spell traps on the field, and destroy them. Moving into the traps real quick, as an extension, we will be using 2 copies Deck Devastation Virus. It will help us defensively / offensively. This will help eliminate a bunch of hand traps out of the opponent's hand. And again, as long as their monster is 2,000 or more with our field spell active, they meet all the requirements for us to use their card. We're also going to use the Eradicator Epidemic Virus this time. The Eradicator Epidemic Virus is also very nice. Tributes a dark monster with at least 2,500 or more attack. Declare either spell or trap and do the same thing. So again, most of the time I want to call spells because again, the Eradicator Epidemic just works way better. And again, like the Deck Devastation and like the Doom Virus Dragon, this will affect all cards for the next 3 turns. So cool, very cool. And then I rounded this one off in the main deck with 3 copies of Solemn Strike. Because again, Solemn Strike is just very nice, especially when it comes to trying to beat the opponent and get your monster effects going. It can stop the monster effect, it can stop the special summon. Does either one of those for 1,500 life points. It's brilliant. Guys, real quick, I did that so this way you get the full names. Go ahead, either pause, screenshot, whatever you need to do to take your notes, and I will be right back with an extra deck. All right, and as promised, I'm going to do a little something different with the extra deck, because normally, again, these are always in alphabetical, because it's just what I do. I'm going to go over the Albaz fusions first. So right now I'm running 1 each of all 4 of the ones that we could use. First up is going to be Albion, Branded Dragon. This is going to be Albaz plus Light. Again, probably not going to play this as often, but there are going to be times where you do not have your, you're not going to have your field spell. So it is better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. If it is fusion summoned, you can fusion summon a level 8 or lower fusion from the extra deck, except same name, by banishing materials from hand, field, and graveyard. But it has to be my side. During the end phase, if this is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, we can add one branded spell trap directly from the deck. Each effect is once per turn. So again, that is our out to light. And you got to remember, Light Sworn is a big deal in common charity, so can happen. Next, we're going to have Brigand. He's plus level 8 or higher. Cannot be destroyed by battle. And while you control this fusion summoned card, your opponent cannot target other cards you control with monster effects. During the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you may add to your hand or special summon one Tri-Brigade or Fallen of Albaz from the deck. Each effect, or sorry, that second effect once per turn. And again, what this is going to do is allow us to go from Brigand into somebody else. Sprint is the reason why we have Radions in here. And again, it's another super poly target because of it. During the main phase, formula first. Fallen of Albaz plus an effect monster that was special summoned this turn. Again, this could be my Radion. During the main phase, you can move this card you control to another of the main zones. Then you can destroy all other face-up cards in the column. During the end phase, if this is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, you can add to your hand or special summon a Spriggans or Fallen of Albaz from the deck. Each effect once per turn. So again, very nice. And then last step would be Titanclad or Titaniclad, depending on how you want to say that. Will be Albaz plus a monster with 2,500 or more. And again, just kind of chilling at 1 because we still have the Eradicator Epidemic Virus and the Deck Devastation Virus for some overlap. What we're going to do here, gain attack equal to the combined levels of all monsters used for its fusion, sometimes 100. So it's going to be a base 4 no matter what. So it's going to start at 29 plus whatever else you use. After this is fusion summoned for the rest of the turn, is unaffected by the activated effects of any other monsters special summoned from the extra deck. During the end phase, if this is in the graveyard because it was sent there this turn, add to your hand or special summon one Dogmatica or Fallen of Albaz from the deck. Again, once per turn. So again, it helps you keep moving. Other cards that we're using in our fusions, we are going to board the one Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. And again, this is another reason why Albion's still in here. Cyber Dragons, guys. Cyber Strike did a real number on us, allowing Cyber Dragons in. The only thing Cyber Dragons truly don't have that would really make them OP is Makaba. I don't think has been released as a common yet, and neither has Infinity Dragon. However, playing Nova, playing into some of the Dark Fusions, even being able to beat stick with both the Cyber Twin and Cyber Ends, all very possible. So again, Chimera Tech, just mainly here for that. Again, Albion could do the job for you if you need, just in case you wanted to use the Super Poly effect. And then because of the last Legendary Duelist season, we were able to get 3 common Starving Venom Fusion Dragons. Because again, everything's dark. The Xyz are pretty self-explanatory. You guys know Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon by now. 2 4s detach both. Gains half of the attack off of another card by draining it from it. Drill Driver Vespanado is going to do piercing while being able to stage up off of a rank 4. Utopia for basic defense, guys. If you don't want to play Utopia, go ahead and pick another one of the Fallen Dragons. Your pick. Tornado Dragon, also very good. Double MST. We're going to use the Bore Load for our links, along with the Triple Burst and the Underclock Taker. So again, not that we needed a lot of links, but we do have some links. Again, Triple Burst is going to do some stuff during the battle phase. Bore Load really going to allow us to help punch over things. And Underclock really helps you with some setup as well. So this is the common Lair of Albaz build. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this. And you know what? I hope to see you guys here in another day or so, okay? So if you enjoyed it, do some of the following. Maybe, support the channel with a like, maybe even a comment. Subscribe if you haven't already. There's so many of you already subscribed, and I can't wait to see so many more. And maybe share the channel with your friends. Outside of that, if you even choose not to do any of those, do me one favor. Go out there, pursue a great day today. Hopefully you guys have the best one. And I hope to see you guys again later. Peace.